Moving on with the segment, we'll start with the next panel discussion over new age e-commerce marketing, elaborating on how to pick winning digital channels. For this discussion, pardon me, let me tell you a little about this discussion. In a constantly changing and increasingly competitive environment, e-commerce marketers need to make concerted efforts to increase sales at their online digital stores. The growing e-commerce market makes it tough to fetch customer attention, and with the new brands entering the market every minute, companies require a smart, tech-driven marketing approach that allows them to reduce customer acquisition cost and help them drive consistent business growth with value for every penny spent. The session will focus on what is the new age e-commerce marketing and how to pick the right and more suitable digital channels for marketing. And the moderator for this session, ladies and gentlemen, is Chief Transformation Officer at Shipyaari, Mr. Rahul Karwa. Let's welcome him with a big hand. Mr. Rahul Karwa is a seasoned marketer with an experience of over 20 years in marketing, P&L management, and communications. He currently works with Shipyaari as a CTO and is responsible for marketing, business growth, and culture. Our first panelist for this session, ladies and gentlemen, is Head of Growth, AdYogi, Mr. Sumit Bansal. Let's welcome him warmly. He has worked with more than 150 commerce brands in the last 5 years, helping them scale to 8 figures in sales. We all should connect with him. No, really. Enabling e-commerce marketing agencies with technology to automate and optimize digital ads. Right. And our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is CEO, Earth Rhythm, Miss Harini Sivakumar. And we will welcome her as well with a big, big round of applause. CEO of Earth Rhythm, a fast-growing skin, hair, and personal care brand founded in 2019 with a vision and mission to manufacture natural skincare products due to insufficiency in the market. And our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, co-founder Campus Sutra, Mr. Kaushik Tibrewal. Let's give him a big hand. Prior to joining Campus Sutra, he's worked with Flipkart, and in his 5 years of tenure, he's worked in several category development areas. And the next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, CEO Libas, Mr. Siddhant Keshwani. Let's have him on stage. Let's welcome him nicely. He took the reins of his family-owned brand, Libas, as CEO back in 2013 and started the company with a turnover of 4 crores. At Libas, he spearheads design, marketing, product and communication, and is responsible for setting up sales and distribution, sourcing and manufacturing processes. And our final panelist for this session, Product Manager, Physics Wala, Mr. Durgesh Anand. Currently responsible for building D2C brand at PW by introducing new categories in the student lifestyle. He's looking after business strategy, D2C product app, and new product development. All right, I now hand over to the moderator. Please carry forward.
Can I use this mic?
Of course.
Hello? I think this was me. I'll use this. Am I audible? Yeah. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Unicommerce, for hosting such a lovely summit. We are really excited to be here. I had a big complaint to make to begin with. Since morning, many people have come to me and asked that the person who is being seen on the screens like this, am I that person? No, I'm not that person. That person is Bade Miya, not. He's Badhiya Miya. He's a part of our campaign, okay? And I am Badhiya Rahul. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you for this session, which is about new age e-commerce marketing, how to pick winning digital channels. Yeah? I don't think I need to introduce the panelists. It's all there, right? Shall we go? Yeah? You know, I've been around in marketing since almost 2 decades. And I have to make a very, very honest confession. I hate marketing. I hate marketing and I hate marketers. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I can't afford to hate marketing because that's what gets me the monthly paycheck. Yeah? However, honestly, as a consumer, I really hate marketing because marketing messages keep chasing me like Vodafone dog wherever I go. Though Vodafone actual network never chases me. That's the irony. The fact of the matter is, as a consumer, when I wake up, I really don't want to open my email and see what Unicommerce writes to me. When I go on my personal Facebook page, I'm really least interested in what Shipyaari is talking to me. So it's very, very important that when we go and choose any kind of digital marketing channel, we are very mindful that we should be engaging with the consumer in the right way. Okay? There is a wide array of choices that we call as channels for engaging with the audience to build your e-commerce business, right from some online, some offline, some direct, some indirect. It's very critical to know what kind of combination to create and in what priority we should be investing our marketing dollars so that we get the best ROI, okay? Without taking too much time, can I ask a small question? Email marketing, how many people receive emails every day from marketers? Everyone does, right? Is it annoying? It is annoying. Just letting you know the statistics, almost 17% of the investments in marketing, digital marketing, goes into email marketing, and actually the returns are as high as 24%. So it doesn't matter how much it irritates you, it works for the brands. So it's really very important we know the efficacy of each medium and then create a right mix to achieve a winning combination. Yeah? Just to list down, before I start my questions, just to list down what all things entail in digital channels. It starts with the most common and abused word called as SEO and content marketing. It has PPC and paid social. It has organic social media. It has email marketing that I just spoke to you about. It has partnerships and affiliate marketing. It has mobile marketing, and it has influencer marketing. My questions are going to be to all the experts about this. Let's see what they have to say. I feel that all these 6-7 things that I spoke about, these all things are very important, but what is most important is what is the story that you have to tell. Because without storytelling, these are just the vehicles which are going to carry some shallow message, which is not going to help your brand. So it's very important that you get your story right. So my first question goes to Harini. Yeah? Harini, I would want to ask you the question, what is the role of storytelling in scaling up the e-commerce business? And what does the storytelling change? How does the storytelling change with channels? Harini.
Right. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Harini, and thank you so much for having me here today. Storytelling, I think it's a very integral part, especially to D2C, direct-to-consumer brands. Simply because I think if you look at the growth of Earth Rhythm in itself, for us being a homegrown venture, what really worked was connecting with consumers at a point where they understand the language in very simple words, right? So, that's very, very important. I can tell you one simple fact, which even today, even I'm still trying to figure out how and why, is while I was a homegrown entrepreneur, the images that I clicked with my mobile phone and uploaded did 10 times better than doing what I'm doing with 10 digital graphic designers sitting in my company, right? And the answer is very simple, right? It's because people are able to connect with real content much better and higher than with, paid content, right? UGC, user-generated content. Why is it doing so well today? Because consumers no longer want to see celebrity-driven product, but they want to see a girl next door or a boy next door kind of a face and who's able to give you, facts and realities just like that in front of you. And I think that boils down to the fact of being realistic and realism, right? So storytelling is very important. I think consumers connect much harder and better when you are able to convey your brand story. And thereby, I think it's not about selling a product, right? It's about selling the concept behind the product. And, the purchase is just a byproduct, right? When the conversion happens, it's just a byproduct. And if you are able to convince that customer with that storyline, obviously they're going to try your product and believe in it, right? And thereby, all the channels begin, email marketing and all of that, to reinforce that story again and again and again. For example, let's look at sustainability at Earth Rhythm. So we give them factual data as to what sustainability means at Earth Rhythm, and when you buy a product from Earth Rhythm, what kind of impact you create as a consumer in the environment. And if you're convinced and you buy that product, then I start giving you more information as to, what was your impact this month by making this purchase from us. And that's where the story starts get built in, right? So you continue the story and you keep telling customers. So next month when I want to retarget this customer, I tell them that last month you were able to contribute so much to the environment. Would you be interested in doing the same this month? Now, I'm not trying to sell the product here. I'm just trying to sell the concept, right? The story behind it. So I think storytelling is very important. Consumers these days are very smart. They no longer just pick up the product down the aisle and walk off. They need facts, they need data, they need to connect with brands. And I think it's very important.
Very well said, Harini. Before I invite other people to contribute to the same topic, I think it's very important for everyone to understand that a great story needs to have 4 elements for sure. First, it needs to be clear. It needs to be concise. It needs to be compelling. And last, doesn't matter for how long you run the same story, it needs to be consistent. If you have these 4 things, doesn't matter what channel you work, your story is going to be a winning story. Anyone else who wants to contribute to the story?
I think Harini covered it very well. I think in the new age where you have customers, they ask different questions, right? They ask the why behind the product. They ask the difference which they're making by buying that product, or the difference which the brand is making. So I'll give you examples. Like we have Eminent, which has been promoting sustainability. We have Mama Earth, which has been selling toxic-free products to women, pregnant women, right? So this is the age in social media where your customers can become your brand evangelists. The customers can become the voice of the brand. What I mean is, I think if I have an example, like so I have a cousin who bought a Mama Earth product. She's writing reviews. This is the product for all the pregnant mothers, right? She's spreading it across, right? So that is what I'm saying. The customers have to be your brand evangelist. If the storytelling is right, the customers will speak for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else before we move to the next one?
I think Kaushik has put it forward quite well. So in case of some of the industries like health and wellness, beauty and skincare, it's not like fashion, right? Fashion, user would see the product, they pretty much understand what's the product. In case of health and wellness, beauty and skincare, you would have to educate a lot the user, as in what are the benefits of the product, and the usage of the product in terms of through videos actually is able to educate the users quite well. And when you are able to educate the users, I think you are creating product evangelists for yourselves. Helps you in viral growth for your brand as well.
Super. Sumit, don't put the mic down. Next question is again for you, and obviously everyone else can contribute after that. How to scale online sales during festive season ahead? What kind of digital channels one should be using? Sumit.
So I think the festive season has already started, and many of the brands could also be struggling with the rising CPMs, rising the advertising cost month on month. So I think for the festive season, brands can launch the new collections as well, position it as festive collections as well. Can bundle the products also, which helps in increasing the AOV. So in festive season, consumers also tend to splurge, tend to spend more during the festive season, whatever the budget for also. And I think building top of the funnel before the festive season helps in monetizing that audience within that festive period, because during the festive period, many of the brands would be spending big money, which would raise the advertising costs. And I think retargeting mid-funnel campaigns, bottom-funnel campaigns, realizing the lifetime value also of your customers would be the key strategy in the festive period, when you're deeper into the festive period.
Awesome. Siddhant?
Yeah, so actually festive season, as we all know, is actually the biggest season for all different kinds of industries, right? And that's why, as he rightly said, that customer acquisition is going to become very expensive, and it is going to get very difficult. It's not, I mean, if you compare it to an offline market where you just go to a mall and it's just crowded and everybody will end up walking into your store, it's not like that for D2C brands. But what actually marketplaces in these scenarios play a very, very good role because, I mean, they are driving so much traffic, such huge media spends that at the end of the day, people will end up discovering you, and you should just have a story because in a competitive space, you have to stand out, as the last question was, right? If the story is there, people are going to come to you and people are going to buy to you because they are looking to buy in the festive season.
Absolutely. Durgesh, any thoughts?
Yes. Actually, I would like to add something. Like during the festive seasons, people are looking for the offers, right? So running the offers in a very correct manner. I mean, giving them while on the perspective of the awareness, I would like to say, like for example, you are running some offers or discount, and if your awareness is very great, like the advertisement part, then it could work for you. And whereas during the festive season, people have the expectations of some freebies kind of a thing, right? And bringing such kind of a things into the picture, that could really help you to bring more sales, right? For the conversion part, I could say like providing the frictionless services to the people and providing some more kind of a stuff like bundling the product with something else could help you to bring more better conversions over there. So trying different strategies at the time of festive seasons could help you in getting more sales out of it.
Absolutely. So apart from the 4 C's that I spoke about, which is be clear, be concise, have a compelling messaging, and be consistent, I think there is another C which is very important, and that falls in the category of don'ts, not the do's, which is clutter. Please don't create clutter in the festive season, otherwise all your marketing money is going to go down the drain. Yeah. Next question I would want to ask Kaushik. Yeah. For execution of any kind of your marketing campaign on digital channels, what is more effective? Building an in-house team or creating an outsourced model?
For a matured company, it is important to understand what roles do an in-house team play or out when you need to do some outsourcing, right? So in-house for me is when you want to create a differentiation in the market, right? That is when we build a team inside. I think the in-house people are the ones who live the brand. Correct. They're agile.
Absolutely.
The turnaround times are very fast.
Absolutely.
So for example, I'll give you 2 examples, right? So I think in a marketplace, it's very important to have the best product photo on the page, right? There are hundreds of products. You need to have the best to stand out, right? So we built an in-house studio team which works day and out. They understand the brand, they understand the customers, and we have been able to deliver when it comes to banners, when it comes to this. Second is, I think we all know in the current age, it's very important to be on the trends. For example, Virat Kohli scored a century yesterday, right? It was very important for my social media to be on the money, to immediately probably give a coupon or to post something, right? Get the customers who are your Virat Kohli fans, right? So this is where in-house comes to play. For outsourcing, I think you also need to find out places where a lot of research has already been done by those companies, where something where you don't need to reinvent the wheel. For example, creating a Facebook campaign, creating a Google ad campaign, you can sort of look at an outsourced company. You just need to provide your inputs, what has to be kya customer base and etc. Right? I think this is the factors which we take into play.
Agree. While the in-house team really brings in a lot of agility, but when it comes to scaling up your operations, you need an outsourced model. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to scale up. Anyway, it's very point of anyone else has a point of view on this?
Yeah, so actually I was having a very interesting discussion with the Unicommerce team just backstage, and we were just discussing the outsourcing model. So actually we feel a little differently because when we started as a business, we actually thought that we should try and save cost and try and do everything ourselves and build up our own teams, including warehousing, marketing, or other operations like photo shoot. We had a small studio. But as we were scaling, we actually realized that today we are living in an age where there are so many new businesses and startups are coming in with and solving every problem that we as entrepreneurs face in a business, right? So starting from photo shoots to warehousing. I mean, 10 years back, people at a small scale couldn't even think of outsourcing their warehouse. But now we have so many startup warehouses. Even if you have an order quantity of 10 orders a day, there are solutions there, right? And at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, we need to focus on the product, marketing, and business instead of other operations which can be handled by professionals who've been working on that particular thing, for example, warehousing for years or marketing. So I think it is the era of outsourcing. They are the best of solutions available at much cheaper prices that you can manage in-house. And I think outsourcing is the future.
I would agree with that because...
Pardon my intrusion. Here.
Sorry?
Pardon my intrusion. I just have one quick thing to say. It's a very interesting discussion. But a quick question from the audience. क्या हम हिंदी और इंग्लिश का मिक्सचर में रखें सेशन? ठीक है, चलेगा ऐसे? Okay, okay. So please, dear panelists, we will keep the session as a mixture of Hindi and English.
Now I will be much more comfortable.
That's
Thank you so
great
much.
to know.
I would agree with you on this outsourcing model because we at Shipyaari, we are a logistics aggregator. We also tell the same story to our clients that you focus on your dhanda. Leave the logistics hassles to an expert because it is going to turn out to be cheaper as well as much more cost effective. Yeah? Anyone else wants to contribute to this subject?
I would like to say a couple of words. I think I completely agree with Siddhant because for a D2C brand like ours, we built the manufacturing to the last mile delivery ourselves first, right? And then at a point we started thinking, hey, what are we even doing? We're doing a lot of heavy lifting and wasting a lot of our time into operational activities, while I think one thing which cannot even be outsourced is brand building, right? Nobody knows the brand as much as you yourself know the brand. So the focus should be more towards, building the brand and strategy and go-to-market strategies. While I think we could lay off with today's advancement in the, in technology, in logistics, we could definitely leverage on these advantages and, outsource all the operational activities.
So very simple. Strategic work in-house, baki sara bahar. Yeah. Moving on to the next question, and the question goes to Siddhant Keswani. Yeah. Integrated campaigns often assume that consumers consume the campaigns in a linear fashion. What I mean to say is, मैंने कुछ outdoor की hoarding लगाई है, मैंने कुछ digital में add करे, मैंने कुछ TV में दिखाया है, कुछ radio में करा है, and I'm expecting जिस flow से मैं execution कर रहा हूँ, consumer is also following the same story. Does it work?
Actually, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, because every consumer is different, every form of marketing is different. There are some consumers who are consuming a lot of content online. There are some who are actually consuming a lot of content offline. So both the consumers are different as well as they overlap as well sometimes. So that's why they say that why 360-degree marketing is important, so that you can cover a larger landscape as compared to spending all your money in one particular thing and just targeting only that limited audience that you have. So what I feel is that 360-degree marketing is important, even if the budgets are low. For example, even if you're spending 10,000 rupees, it should be well divided amongst different channels so that different kinds of audience are perceiving you in a particular manner.
Very well said. In fact, with digital being on the forefront, this really makes a lot of sense because you can control which audience should be seeing what first and what next. So you can actually sequence your campaigns. Anyone else has a point of view on this? Sumit or the Durgesh?
Yes. So basically over here, I would like to add something like for building a brand, you need a consistency, right? And while having the integrated campaigns, consistency comes into the picture, right? And having that kind of a consistency throughout the campaign is very difficult to maintain. So over there, people could try some 360-degree campaigns or something like that. But having the brand image forever, the consistent message which you are throwing up throughout the journey would be required all the time. It is something which I have seen so far, like for example, Nike campaign. They do have just do it kind of a logo everywhere, every time. They have some background kind of a thing. For example, there is some festive ad. So still they maintain that particular kind of a consistency throughout the journey. And they, like you can see on Instagram or anywhere, any advertisement, you will check that particular thing, just do it everywhere. So I have seen some brands are doing playing different strategies, some are doing this. So it totally depends on brand to brand and how they manage to do and would like to work on it. Yeah.
Very well said. Anyone else?
So I think out of all the users we end up attracting to the brand, a good share of those users are hybrid shoppers who would engage with multiple channels before making a purchase on the brand side. And again, this is not again linear. So for example, as a brand, if I am spending, let's say 20% of my budget on one of the channel, and let's say segregating 80% of my spends across channels, I cannot just shut down one of the channel because in the last click attribution, I'm not getting that much sales from that channel. So I also have to look at customer journeys. I have to understand all the touch points for the customer journey, as in some of the channels could be very good in first touch points, making first touch points, building top of the funnel. And some of the channels could be very good in converting those audiences, mid-funnel campaigns to bottom-funnel campaigns.
Absolutely. We are halfway down. The bad news is there are 12 more questions. Who all wants to kill me? No, there are just 4 more. Don't worry. What you were talking about, what you were talking was about consumer journey. My next question is about that. So when we do channel planning, do we really follow? Are we honest to the consumer journey, or does our plan gets manipulated by the digital mafias, thereby making ROI a challenge while scaling up? Durgesh, would you want to attempt that?
Yeah, so over here, I would like to say something like while going for the campaign like stuff. So over there, believing on the customer-driven approach, consumer-driven approach is much more better as compared to going for the ROI-driven approach where you are captured by some digital mafias, right? So over here, I would say ki, like it again depends on the brand to brand. But the thing is ki, like if you are into the form like you could say like I have a good story to say and I understand my customer better. So in that case, you could follow the customer-driven approach. And otherwise, you have to test and try with that ROI game also.
Absolutely.
Like whether it is working fine for you or not.
Yeah. Fair. Siddhant, you want to add to it? Anyone wants to add to it?
I think I talk with many merchants, and I usually amazed that many of the brands are not leveraging the data too much, not looking at the customer journeys, not looking at the GAs also, not leveraging the attribution models as such to make those decisions as in which platform they should be spending, how much, what kind of spend share they should be keeping, what are their customer cohorts as well, which of the channels are helping them in acquiring the customers, which end up sticking with the brand for a long time, which channels are helping in increasing the lifetime value of the customers again. So I think building a holistic strategy for your demand gen at various levels, as in top of the funnel, mid funnel, bottom funnel, understanding those journeys, understanding the data around all those journeys can give the unfair advantage also to the brand, so that brand can also build a long-term sustainable business as well.
I'll come back to that question again at the end because it's to be covered at length and we would love to hear your views. Before that, you would want to answer one more question. Does a brand's credibility get affected by the channel selection? How should one go about it? Sumit.
I think in India, jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai again. So as the brand is present on many of the channels, it creates credibility for the end users also. So we have also surveyed, have identified that additional channels that you are adding helps you in increasing the lifetime value of the customers by roughly about 35–40% when you're present on the additional channels as well. So I would always recommend that the brand is present on as many channels as possible. Again, whatever the money also allows, time and effort also allows.
Harini,
Yeah.
or sorry, Durgesh.
The answer here is also married to the previous question. It's important to be at the right place of the consumer journey.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. So if you are not at the, say for example, we might think TV brings credibility to us. TV brings credibility to the TV brings credibility to the campaigns, but if your consumer is on the OTT, it doesn't matter, right?
Absolutely.
So I think, again, and now second is with online marketing being so prevalent, you can be present anywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's not like पहले कि आपको TV में decide करना है कि आप संस्कार पे करोगे या Star Plus पे करोगे.
Correct.
So I think answer is no, the credibility, it's not important.
Got it. Harini?
One point which is very, very valid, adding on to what he said, is both of them, in fact, is reiterating that being on the right touch point where the consumer is the key. Simple as that, right? If your consumer is someone who is more intellectual, you would chase after platforms like Reddit, Quora, where consumers are wanting to engage in a lot of information. If you are just chasing after someone who's a millennial, or say a Gen Z or a Gen X, you probably would look at TikTok, Facebook, right? So I think being, knowing your consumer is extremely critical, and being on the touch points, right? And only then comes the next step of leveraging the strategies of how do we build the correct strategy, right? that was something, which I
Absolutely.
wanted to make a point.
Absolutely. In fact, if you end up choosing the right channel mix, it can actually add to a lot more credibility because channel's equity actually rubs off very positively on your messaging. Yeah? Moving on to last second question of this section. A great channel mix for demand generation and a substandard last mile experience, because that's where logistics come into the picture, because consumer experience is considered to be very holistic. What you do to sell the product, and what is equally important is what you do to deliver the product in the right way. That means choosing your logistics partner is right choice is very critical. Points of view on that? This is an open question anyone can attempt. I would urge all of you to attempt.
So today, actually, we are living in a world where we are trying to solve problems that didn't exist for us. Like, for example, guys like Blinkit and all now delivering in 12 minutes. We didn't know we had that problem, but now that's become a problem for other brands because other brands, the consumer has an expectation of a similar experience from other brands as well. So, I mean, logistics is of course important. We have seen that every time, the faster the order is delivered to the customer, the lower the return rates, lower the RTOs, higher the customer satisfaction. But yes, that being said, as a brand, we need to see where our consumer is. We need to look at data. We need to have local warehousing, a proper logistic chain, having the right logistic partner to ensure that we are closer to the customer. And it's very, very possible today as compared to 5 years back because, I mean, there are so many new warehousing companies that have come in, so many new logistic partners, just like yourself. I mean, sky is the limit, right? Who knows, even fashion will be delivered in 15 minutes in a year from now. So.
Absolutely. Last year, I ended up buying a laptop for my father-in-law in 7 minutes when I was driving.
So I'll give you an example. I think a few years back, I think first BBD, the Big Billion Day at Flipkart, most of you would know, right? We were able to generate insane traffic, like something which was not seen before in the country, right? There was so many people, there were so many offers which were created, like 1 rupee offer to bring the bus. Everything worked. There were like unprecedented number of customers shopping. But the event was a failure. The whole reason was the completion was not there, right? I think that is where the answer is, right? So I think both needs to marry each other very well.
Absolutely. At the cost of risking my life, I just got a threat from Jigyasa that I need to get off the stage. Just the last question. Very briefly, I would want Sumit to address that. How brands are using data and automation in acquiring and retaining the customers? That's about it from my side. Sumit.
So I think data becomes quite relevant when there is a lot of competition in this space. 25% growth, e-commerce year on year. So data can be used to identify what are the top selling products, what are the top products that a brand should be selling. So automations can also help in that regard, as in to identify all these smart product sets which a brand would want to automate creatives also for to bring down the CACs for the brand. And also, while we can always measure all these matrices like bounce rate, all that is good. But again, my favorite is customer cohort. So understanding what's the CAC and what's the LTV and optimize for the LTV also. Customer cohorts analysis is basically all the customers acquired in a specific time period. How are they behaving? How are they engaging with the brand? Purchasing from the brand in the subsequent months as well. 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months later. And to create a sustainable brand also across industry actually. In some of the industries, CAC might not justify the first order or the second order revenue as well. But in many of those industries, increased repeat buying, increased lifetime value actually helps in creating the sustainable business over time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sumit. On that note, I would want to end this session. Thank you so much, panel members. Thank you so much for being lovely audience. Last but not the least, this is not me. This is Badhiya Mia. Thank you.